What's up guys, Z-Slides here back with another video. So in this video I'll be making a pretty old board game. It's called Nine Men Morris. It's kind of like tic-tac-toe and checkers in a way. And it was first made about the 14,000 BC in Egypt. So I'm making the main little board right here. It is going, and I'm just marking out the dimensions. I found this piece of scrap wood. So I'm just going to cut it down to size with the miter saw to get the 9x9 measurements of it, which is what I want it to be. I got the belt sander and sanded it down, revealing the nicer wood quality, not the gunk of wood. So I just sanded it down and then did both sides and rigged it up the table to sand it down better. And I'm always surprised by how pretty the wood looks after you sand it down. I don't know, it always just surprises me. Because that is some pretty nice wood after I get sanded down properly. So I'm going to do the engravings for the Nine Men Morris. I forgot to show this, but I found a template and then copied it with a pen or with the pencil and traced the board pattern out. So I just came back with the wood burner and burned it. When wood burning, make sure to always keep sandpaper nearby so you can sand like the char marks off the end of it. It helps it burn it makes it burn hotter, and it can mark the wood a lot easier than just using, it being blackened. So normally after every 2-3 minutes, I sand it down and just finish off the wood burning of the different columns and the rows. So if you do want to play this game at home, you can just look up a template for it and then just find 9 pieces of each color to play the game, or 9 little tokens of each colors. It's pretty simple and pretty fun. It's very strategic. Okay, now I want to do something different for this project. I want to make like a border around the game board. So I come up with the scrap wood and mark out some dimensions of it and cut it down to size, where I'm going to set up a little rig to cut it to the correct measurements each time, which I think I did about 1/8 of an inch is what I set it to. So I'm just gonna cut the strips out of cut enough strips for all 4 sides of it. So I cut out 8 pieces, and you'll see why I did this for a certain kind of look I was going for. So after I got the main strips cut out, I cut a 45-degree angle on them, and that's all 8. And then I did the 45 instead of like the other plane to make the corners add up. I cut those out, and one of them actually just like the wood grain came off, so I quickly had to just make it again, finding out the measurements, resetting up the jig until I got one that was 1/8 of an inch, and then I went through the same process I had done with the other 7 of them. After I had those, I just quickly sanded them down to get most of the wood. Just sand them down, make sure the wood grain was visible on all of them, and just rigged up the belt sander and clamped it down. I took my blowtorch, and it was giving me a lot of problems, but I did manage to use it to get all of the sides down for the borders of it. I had to refill it a lot with gas. I don't know why, but it wasn't working too well. I dropped it right there. But I did burned it down, and then I laid them all flat and did the edges of them, and then a little bit of the corners, or of the diagonals, but not much, and the bottom side of it I quickly did. Okay, now for gluing it down, I just taped the corners of each one together, and then taped them together, and messing around with rigging it up properly. After I rigged it up properly, after I felt good about rigging it up, I got some wood glue and spread it all around. Make sure to try to cover the surface everywhere, and a pressure applied. I used some tape, and as I wrapped, I was pleasantly surprised that there wasn't really much wood overflow at all, which is normally not the case. I normally have to clean that up and sand it down later, but as I removed the tape, I just saw that, yeah, it glued pretty well, and I don't know, I always had difficulties with glue drying correctly. So after it, I just sanded it down a little bit just to make it smooth, but I forgot to film that. Onto the rules. Like many old games, there are many variants of how to play, but this is the most commonly used variant to play. So both players have 9 pieces, as 9 Min Wars suggest, and they take turns placing pieces onto the corners or intersections of each of the different board pieces, with white starting off going first. Okay, when one player manages to be able to get 3 in a row, that be horizontally or vertically, not diagonally, only horizontally vertically. Black got it here, so they can remove any one of white's pieces that aren't in a set. So say white had pieces like this, black couldn't remove from these, or from any other piece, so they'd remove that, and it's not like they're gonna play. After both pieces place down their pieces, they can move their pieces along the rows to try to get 3 in a row, and try to just eliminate their opponents down. Eventually, when one player is only left with 3 tokens, they can move their pieces anywhere on the board. So this is black in this instance, so they can move their pieces anywhere and just go anywhere. Also, when both players just have 3, the game's a draw.